everyone. So, quick question. How many of you have ever had this amazing idea? Maybe you wanted to start a YouTube channel, learn photography, or just post something you are really proud of. But then your brain hit you with, what if people think it's weird? No one? Just me? Okay, yeah, me too. In fact, I know exactly what it's like to have something you love be called weird. And not even by random strangers on the internet, by colleagues, people I saw every day. And let's be honest, when someone calls your content weird, it's not just about the post, it's about you. It makes you doubt yourself. It makes you wonder, am I embarrassing? Am I trying too hard? Should I just stop? And so, we start to hesitate. We start to overthink every single thing we post. We start doubting our dreams. Should I post this picture? Do I look weird in it? What if nobody likes it? Should I delete it? What if my caption isn't funny enough? Does this even fit my aesthetic? At this point, posting on social media isn't even fun anymore. It feels like a full-time job. Like, why do I feel like I'm submitting a project to be graded every time I post a picture? That's when I realized something. I was letting doubts take over my dreams. I was stopping myself from doing things I loved because I was too afraid of how they'd look online. And I know I'm not the only one. But here's what I've realized. None of my real friends ever called my content weird. Not once. The people who actually cared about me, they supported me, even if they sometimes didn't fully get what I was doing. That's when I learned something huge. Sometimes, the loudest voices in the room aren't the ones that matter. Let's talk about the 5 stages of posting regret, because we all go through them. Excitement. You take a fire picture, write a great caption, and post it. Instant regret. You stare at the screen, second-guessing yourself. Overanalyzing the likes. Why do I only have 3 likes? What if my colleagues see this and laugh at me? Social media anxiety. Should I just delete this? Deleting the post. You convince yourself it was a mistake and remove it. Sound familiar? We live in an era where it feels like if something isn't online, it didn't happen. But also, if it's online and doesn't get enough attention, we feel invisible anyway. You've probably heard of René Descartes. He was a philosopher who back in the 1600s said something revolutionary. I think, therefore I am. What he meant was that the simple fact that we can think, reason, and question things is proof that we exist. But today, it feels like that has changed. Now it's more like, I post, therefore I am. Because let's be honest, how often do we think about posting before we even experience something? Think about it. Before we eat at a cool restaurant, we take a picture of the food. Before we enjoy a concert, we post on our Snapchat or Instagram stories. Before we even feel proud of something, we wonder if it's post-worthy. And here's where it gets weird. If we don't post it, did it even really happen? I mean, think about it. If you went on vacation and didn't post a single story, would it still feel as fun? If your birthday passes and nobody gives you a shout out on their Instagram story, does it even feel like your birthday? Why is something as simple as a birthday suddenly a public relations crisis? Next, you can't use too many filters or people will say you're fake. But if you don't use filters, you might feel not good enough. And don't even get me started on posting at the right time for maximum likes. Like, why do I feel like I need a degree in marketing just to post a normal picture? Social media today feels like less fun and more like running a PR company for yourself. If social media had a LinkedIn job posting, it would say, must have crisis management experience, a background in digital marketing, and an advanced degree in trend forecasting. Here are some stats we can't ignore. 95% of teenagers have access to a smartphone. 90% of teens between 13 and 17 use social media daily. 45% of teenagers say they are online almost constantly. And here's the scary one. 59% of teenagers say that social media makes them feel worse about their own life. That means more than half of us keep going back to something that makes us feel worse. That's like eating food that gives you food poisoning but still ordering it every single day. But even when we do get attention online, it doesn't always make us feel better. Sometimes it makes us feel worse, because suddenly we're comparing. Because social media isn't just about connecting anymore. It's about comparing. It's about ranking. It's about who is the best, who has more likes, comments, shares. It's about proving you have a better life than the people watching. It's like we all woke up one day and accidentally entered a competition we never even signed up for. Ever heard of dopamine? It's the chemical in our brain that makes us feel good when we get a reward. Every like, every comment, every "oh my God, you look amazing" in your DMs. Little hits of dopamine. It's addictive. And when we don't get the validation, we feel invisible. So let's stay focused, because living just to be seen by others can become a dream itself that could make you doubt your real passions and just make you not achieve your real goals. So we wake up, check our phones, and immediately see people living their best life. Someone's in vacation in Thailand, someone else just bought a brand new car, and someone is somehow in a perfect relationship. Meanwhile, I'm still in bed wearing my "I'll start my life tomorrow" hoodie, eating a bowl of cereal. And that's why comparison is the thief of joy. Now, I'm not saying delete your social media, go live in a cave. That's not realistic, but before social media, if you had a dream, if you wanted to try something, start singing, start drawing, start a business, you just did it. You failed in private, got better, and kept going. Now, you have to ask yourself, will this dream match my Instagram feed? Followed by, would this look good with a vintage filter? But keeping jokes aside, we all know that before even starting, we're already comparing ourselves to someone who's been doing it for years, someone who has thousands of followers, someone who makes it look effortless. We don't see the bad takes, the awkward phases, or the mistakes they made. We just see their perfect end result. And suddenly, your dream doesn't seem as possible anymore. It seems smaller. But here's what social media doesn't show you: the failed attempts, the awkward first videos, the self-doubt that every successful person once had. That's like walking into a gym and expecting to lift 200 pounds on day one just because someone else can. You don't see their training, you just see their end result. And instead of starting, we just say, "I could never do that." Now here's something funny. Adults love to say we're addicted to our phones. But have you ever seen an adult on Facebook? God forbid they're fighting in the comment section like it's the Olympic Games. 68% of adults check their phone within 5 minutes of waking up. Meanwhile, parents will yell at us for being on our phones at the dinner table, but then they'll go sit on the couch and scroll through TikTok for 3 hours. And don't even get me started on how adults always call instead of texting. Like, why? So, yeah, maybe teenagers use social media more, but adults, they're not exactly winning the battle either. Now here's the part where I have to admit something. I'm lucky, because even when people thought my content was weird, my real friends supported me, and so did my family. See, we talk a lot about how adults don't get it, how they just tell us to get off our phones or punish us when we spend too much time online. But what if adults could be more than just authority figures handing out punishments? What if they were accountability partners instead? Like, imagine if instead of just banning social media, parents actually sat down and asked, "Hey, what do you love about being online? What stresses you out? How can I support your dreams while helping you stay balanced?" Because here's what I've learned. A real support system doesn't just criticize. They help you grow. Here's the truth. Social media isn't the enemy. It's a tool. And like any tool, it can either build something amazing or completely wreck what's already there. It all depends on how we use it. We don't have to let doubts kill our dreams just because we're afraid of what people will think. We don't have to measure our success based on numbers on a screen. The only validation that matters is the one you give yourself. Social media should be a place to express yourself, not a courtroom where strangers decide if you're worthy. It's okay to share your highlights, but don't be afraid to share your process. The late night brainstorming, the imperfect attempts, the moments when things don't go as planned, because those are the moments that make success real. And most importantly, Don't let comparison stop you from dreaming. Every expert was once a beginner. Every artist had a first awkward sketch, and every musician had a first bad note. Imagine a world where we didn't post for approval, but for passion, where we created because we loved it, not because we feared being left behind, where we scrolled through our feeds without questioning if we're good enough, because deep down, we already know we are. So next time you hesitate before posting, ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for them? Because if it's for you, if it makes you happy, if it represents who you are, post it, own it, be proud of it. And if not, that's okay too. Who you are offline matters just as much who you are online. So, what now? Post because you want to, not because you feel like you have to. Surround yourself with real friends who support you. Find adults who can guide you, not just punish you. And most importantly, log off sometimes. At the end of the day, the question isn't just, what will people think of this post? It's, who am I when I'm not performing for an audience? Because you don't need a post to prove you're here. You already exist, and that's enough. Thank you.